Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Permaculture Perspectives. Today I'm going to be addressing some interesting comments that I got on my video about decolonizing permaculture. I think it's going to be pretty interesting, so stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to Permaculture Perspectives. So I actually had a different video planned for today, but I also thought that it was really important that I address some of the comments that I got on, not my last video, but the video before that, decolonizing permaculture. And if you haven't seen it, it would probably be good if you saw it before watching this video. So I'm gonna post a link to it, I think, somewhere here, right about now. And I'll also link to it in the description box below. So it's really interesting the completely different response that this video got to my other videos, and I wanted to read a few of the comments that I got on it. The grand majority of comments that I got on this video were negative, and this is not a huge YouTube channel and I didn't get tons of comments, and I wouldn't have made this video if I had only put out that video and only seen those comments. But I've written about similar topics to decolonizing permaculture before, and I know that a lot of people who post about this topic, especially women, tend to get trolled and harassed on the internet. And so I think it's really important to talk about this issue. So I posted this video that I made about decolonizing permaculture where I talked about things that I thought were important to recognize when we practice permaculture, especially on unceded Indigenous territory, and just having this kind of awareness of social justice issues, or just trying to, and recognizing how power and privilege play into permaculture, and who gets to practice it and who it benefits and all that stuff. And so I posted my video on the permaculture subreddit on reddit.com, just to try and get a few more views and maybe start up some conversations. And the video only got 3 comments, but they were all negative comments, and every person who commented also downvoted the video, which means that less people would see the video, because that's, I think, how Reddit works. If you downvote a video, it just gets pushed further down the line of videos. So I'm gonna read the comments to you and then we can talk about them. So the first comment is, please, for the love of everything good, let's not inject political bullshit into permaculture. Comment number 2, yeah, no identity politics in permaculture / gardening, please. Comment 3, we should endeavor to further develop and establish sustainable techniques of regenerative agroecology and permaculture, regardless of race. Our white society has an excellent chance to propel permaculture into new areas and to save Indigenous knowledge from being lost. It's grossly racist to exclude white people from this activity. She should be reprimanded for being such a cancer on the progress of humanity. Yeah, that one's a juicy one, isn't it? Okay, so I want to reiterate again that if I had only ever discussed this topic in this video and only ever posted it on Reddit, and those were the comments I got, I would have just been like, whatever, you know, it's just internet trolls, or yeah, I wouldn't have really thought that much about it. But because I had written an article before along similar lines, it was called Is Sustainability Only for the Privileged? And I originally got it published on the degrowth.de, the German degrowth website, and then I got picked up by the resilience.org website, and unfortunately all the comments have been like taken off because I think they redid their website, but it got like, I don't know, like 20 to 30 comments on there, and I would say like 80% of them were along these lines, where people just like anywhere from politics does not belong in sustainability or permaculture. It's just about addressing climate change and we're all in it together. Or it was like to this very outrageous point of like, white people are doing such a service to other people, so why are you hating on white people? And the surprising thing is that this was like the dominant comments. You know, there were some like really interesting ones, and even people who didn't agree with me sometimes had really interesting things to say, but most of the comments were just completely negative. And I've seen that on permaculture groups as well, when people bring up topics of like politics and power, privilege, all the P's in permaculture, they often get trolled and told that they're being like discriminatory and racist, which is like exactly what they're trying to like fight against by bringing up these issues. So I just wanted to say that I think the fact that the majority of the comments on videos like this are these kinds of comments, fall into these kinds of categories, just shows like how much more these conversations are needed in the everyday lives of people. And I think people who are posting about these topics, they shouldn't stop just because they're getting negative comments. And I did get the feeling like when I first saw the comments on my video, I was a little discouraged, and I thought, I don't know, it just made me like not want to talk about that anymore. But I think that it is really important to talk about it. So I did get a couple of good responses on in other groups, but I think it's the comments that are not exactly like trolly comments, the comments where people actually believe that you can divide politics from something that includes like food production. I mean, to me that's just crazy, because if you think about politics, it's who has the power to govern or to decide how things run in a society. And the people who control the production of food have power. Food is power. Being able to grow your own food and provide for yourself is power, is political power. So saying that permaculture has nothing to do with politics is, I don't know, it's just nonsensical to me. I mean, it might not have to do with political parties, but I never talked about any of that in my video. So yeah, I think politics and permaculture definitely go together, food politics that is, and social justice. I mean, having access to food is a huge social justice issue, so I don't really understand how people can say that there's no space for that conversation in permaculture. To me, like, permaculture inherently has to do with issues of social justice, food sovereignty, politics, power, all of those things, just for what it is. So yeah, that's my opinion anyway. If you guys have anything to say, I would love to hear it, even if you don't agree with me. But please don't post trolly comments, because they just don't do any good to anyone. Thanks. By the way, guys, I almost forgot. So in my last video, the one before this one, I had started some seeds, and I mentioned that in my future videos, I would be showing you the progress of those seeds. So I've got a few guys over here to show you. And I think what's really interesting is to see the different rates of growth of different plants. It's really cool. So I planted all of these about 2 weeks ago, I think, or a week and a half. And I've got these nasturtiums here, which have just kind of exploded. They grow super fast. This little zucchini, which was not visible until like 3 days ago, and then he just shot up. And then these tiny little guys, they are evening primrose, and they're tiny. Like, they were one of the first ones to come up, and they've stayed like teeny tiny. And then this is a calendula, and this is wild fennel. And some of these guys look a little bit sad because I accidentally sprayed them with some eucalyptus oil, which is a poison. So I hope that they survive. If not, I have planted others of all of these. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how my little plants were doing. Hopefully you can see. And then hopefully I can show you when I plant some of them out in the garden as well later on. I will see you next time on Permaculture Perspectives.